Welcome to Find a Job Fridays. This is Lynette Evans, your host, with my co-host Renee Bonner. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Lynette. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm really excited today because we've decided to focus on where are the jobs, and who better to share that information with us than Michelle Cat Walker, who hosts the Facebook group Word of Mouth Jobs. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Lynette.
How are you
Welcome.
doing, Michelle?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I am so impressed with what you've been doing with this group. Before we get started, I really want to make it possible for people who are listening who may be looking for a job, or for employers who may have jobs that they want to publicize through this program. I want to make it possible for you to give us a call. So here are some numbers for you. If you are local, you can call us at 827-8900 or toll free 855-790-8255. You can text at 775-557-5120 or email your questions to talk@americamatters.us. And we are sponsored this afternoon by Applied Staffing Solutions and by Country Financial. Both of those companies offer employment opportunities and great career opportunities. So stay tuned, because we may be able to talk more about that in a bit. So Michelle, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this Facebook group, Word of Mouth Jobs. What prompted you to start this group?
It's really quite a phenomenon.
Yes. Well, the group started in August of 2012. And what happened was I had some friends who had lost their jobs. And 3 of them were single moms with kids. And they were facing not only not having food on the table, but losing their homes and so forth. And I thought about, what can I do to help? And the thought came across my mind about starting a group called Word of Mouth Jobs, because I felt like sometimes when you get a job, you have to know somebody. I mean, it's great to have a degree and skills, but sometimes you just got to know somebody to get a job. So I thought, oh, what a great name for a group, and that's kind of how it began on Facebook. And so that's where I started.
And I first heard about you about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Word of mouth, by the way. One of the coaches that's a mutual friend of ours, Roxanne,
Yes.
Mentioned to me that there was this group that I really ought to get involved with. So, and I noticed that about the time that I just became aware of you, you were on the news, and all of a sudden your membership just exploded.
It did.
Tell us about those numbers, because we were really impressed with what you were saying out in the lobby a moment ago.
Right. I mean, it's kind of sad, but I mean, for the group, I mean, there's more people out there, watching out and sharing. So that's a great thing. But we went from about 500 members in, I believe it was just a few months ago, to what we have today, which is about 4,350 group members.
Wow.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, and part of that is because a lot of folks' unemployment ran out in the beginning of the year, and then also just people sharing.
Don't you think that they might find your site and the discussions that ensue a lifeline? I mean, when you're unemployed and you get down to this point, there are some psychological issues that you're having to deal with. And it just seems like this would be a real lifeline to many.
It's a great alternative resource. People are, you have your traditional resources through the newspaper and job sites and that kind of thing. But people are, like I said, it's word of mouth. And so there is a lot of jobs out there that you may not necessarily hear about unless someone tells you about them. The other thing that's been really wonderful that kind of pulls at my heartstrings is that it's become a community.
Yes.
People are just helping each other. and not just with jobs, with other things too. Hey, we're having a food drive, or we're doing food services today. Here's a clothing resource, and here's a childcare resource, and it's just it's not just about an individual anymore in the group. They're helping each other, and I just love that.
Yeah, that
Sounds like our former job club, doesn't it?
it does. And in fact, I was thinking about that because one of the things Renee and I used to talk about was, face to face, you can actually only serve a limited number of people. It might be limited by, enrollment criteria, or it might be limited by the amount of space you have. But online, your reach can be infinite. And as you were talking about your idea for word of mouth jobs, I was thinking, this is really a concept that could be national.
I think so. And I mean, for more than just jobs too. I mean, it's a great concept.
It is.
Well, like you were saying, it's a community. It's developed into a community. And one part of a conversation leads to something else, and pretty soon you've got some other dialogue going on there about a
Absolutely.
different topic. So,
Yeah.
yeah. How interesting.
I was on the group for several hours yesterday just looking over what people are talking about, and I noticed that you're very engaged, that every time someone comes on, and almost every time somebody posts a new thread, you're there either liking it or commenting or asking a question. How much of your own time have you invested in making this go?
Well, I spend a good portion of the day making sure that everybody is, happy, and the conversations are staying positive, and, there's not a lot of spamming and scamming going on, because it's real important to me to keep the goal of the group, intact, and making sure that, people are focused on that.
So you monitor it every day, most of the day.
I do. Even when I'm not supposed to be on there, I'm supposed to be on vacation or whatever. I'm taking a peek and making sure that, things are going smoothly, because I don't want anybody to feel bad, and, I don't want anybody to leave the group because they have felt bad. And I mean, that's happened in the past, and I try to head that off if I can, and I try to protect people from whatever I can.
Which I think is really important, because one of the things I noticed, both from serving clients face to face who are unemployed and also from reading the threads that are on this page, is just how much unemployment affects people's self-esteem. And the last thing anyone needs is to have someone criticize them harshly or treat them badly.
Right. And that does happen from time to time, and I try to make sure that, I take care of that right away.
Do you
You know.
follow up on a personal level when you see that happening?
I message people,
Okay.
private message them, and I'll, let them know either, hey, we need to keep this positive, and I'll talk to the other person. I'm sorry that happened to you, that kind of thing. And, I just really have a vested interest in making sure that everybody's happy in the group, and doing my part, to help in any way I can.
Well, I bet you don't get too much of that, though.
I don't. It's really funny because, it goes in spurts, obviously, but for the most part, everybody that's in there is very positive, and they really are sincere about trying to find work, and every now and then you have someone that causes a little wave, and we try to take care of that. And I've had issues where I've addressed it, and they apologize, and then they're fine. But, there are times when I do have to remove people from the group because they just really try to stir up some trouble. But it's not very often, and as
No.
large a group as that is, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is,
Truly.
yeah.
That it stays as focused as it does. And it's the other thing that's nice is, because it's such a nice sense of community, is the group members themselves will go in and say, hey, you can't do that here, or that's not nice. They get involved too, and it's really nice because there's this whole interaction going on, and they just kind of self-monitor too. So that's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Speaking of community, there are a couple things that come to mind. One is a quick sidebar for keeping things positive, because this is a small community and people know each other.
Right.
And employers are on that site now looking to see what kinds of clients or candidates they might find, as well as to post their own jobs. So I think people forget that Facebook, no matter where you're posting on Facebook, you need to be positive because you're being public.
Right. And I try to remind them from time to time if I feel like, things are going in the wrong direction, that, hey, you don't know who's in the group. You need to be professional.
That's right.
There you
And
go.
employers are watching you. If you're a go-getter and you're helping people, that's actually a positive for you because you might be their next hire.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
they
so-
are on there. They're everywhere
Yes, they
looking
are.
for good talent, including this particular site. So, it's social etiquette
It really is.
is what it is. That's what we're talking about here.
The other thing I noticed, and this was a person that I know personally because I interacted with him at ProNet and Join, is when someone finds a job, they are excited to post it on there. Hey, I finally got my job and I really love it. And then their interaction continues.
And I love that. I love that they share. I wish more of the members would share because I love to hear the success stories. It makes what I do, it makes me feel motivated to keep going.
Wow. Now, you were saying in the lobby that you do not get paid for doing this.
No.
Wow.
No, I just do it because I'm helping.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes me feel good to help people, and that's why I like to hear the success stories because then I know that I've made a difference.
So this is a full-time job that you're not getting paid
Yes,
for.
it is.
Wow. Well, I just want to say on behalf of all of the wonderful people that are getting helped by that site, I just want to say thanks. That is just awesome.
They
That
are
is
most
just
welcome.
amazing because they so appreciate all this effort. Michelle, I have a question. What kinds of things or work had you done prior to this time? Oh my gosh, we're out of time. I forgot to look at the clock. Sorry.
We are. We're going to pick this up
Okay.
after the break, but I just want to remind people to call in. Our local number is 827-8900, toll free 855-790-8255. We'll be back in a minute.
It can be lonely at the top. The Applied Companies understands the pressures a business owner faces night and day. The Applied Company knows that you carry the weight of your company's performance on your shoulders. The Applied Companies understands your staff depends on you for leadership that protects their livelihood. With the Applied Companies at your side, you are not alone. Managing employment is our business. Helping your company grow is our passion. The Applied Companies includes Applied Staffing Solutions, Northern Nevada's largest locally owned staffing and employment agency specializing in executive search, temporary, and temp to hire. Applied Business Solutions is your trusted HR partner and expert in benefits and ACA compliance. We focus on looking for ways to free up your internal resources so you can focus on growing your business. Put the power of the Applied Company professionals behind you for a symphony of growth. Visit theappliedcompanies.com. That's theappliedcompanies.com.
Northern Nevada's Building and Construction Trade Council is working for a better community for all of us.
We've been partners with local contractors since 1928 to provide qualified, safe, and productive workers. Workers trained in the latest technologies and methods to perform the highest standards of quality and efficiency.
We save taxpayers money by assuring union workers and their families have medical insurance and pension benefits, so they won't need public assistance. We also work to keep unqualified contractors with their shoddy work practices from building our bridges, schools, and public buildings.
Our Building and Construction Trades Council supports good jobs in our community. Jobs with a livable wage, basic health and retirement benefits, a safe work environment, and the pride that comes from knowing we are building a better Northern Nevada.
For more information about our local Building and Construction Trades Council, go to bctnn.org. That's bctnn.org. Or call 775-355-9200.
Support the quality contractors who employ skilled union tradesmen. We build it right the first time.
Looking for a career you can really feel good about? How about a sales career at Country Financial? You'll earn a very competitive salary, plus commissions and rewards, and you'll receive ongoing training. Best of all, you'll be helping clients secure their financial future no matter where they're starting from. To find out more, visit countrycareer.com or contact Jeremy Peterson at 775-829-1011. A Country Career, the freedom to grow, the support to succeed. Equal opportunity employer.
Lacey J. Dalton here. Come on out to the first Virginia City Wild Horse Fair. Wild horses are in trouble. Help us save them Saturday, August 23rd in VC with a day of family fun to raise money. There'll be a parade, concert, booths, pony and train rides, Mustang cars, and much more. For info or to be a vendor, sponsor, or volunteer, go to wildhorsefaire.com or robert@silverlandusa.com or call 775-847-4493.
And welcome back, listeners, to Find a Job Fridays with Lynette Evans and Renee Bonner. And we have a special guest with us, Michelle Catwalker. She is the founder and moderator of Word of Mouth Jobs, which is a Facebook page for job seekers and employees, or employers, I should say. And I tell you that this site has just gone off the Richter scale of success. It is just amazing. Michelle, before we broke, I wanted to ask you how people can get in and participate in this particular social media event.
It's really easy. They just simply have to have a Facebook page or account, and then just look up the group, which is Word of Mouth Jobs Reno, and then request to join.
Okay, and then is that you? Are you the one that gets back to them and just sends them an email out? And...
Actually, I just accept their their request to join, and that's it, and then they're in the group.
Okay. Is there anyone that you wouldn't accept? Is there anything that you look for that might give you a heads up that maybe it's not the right fit?
Right.
in the group?
We try to, because this is a group that's for the Nevada community. We try to only accept members that are within our state, unless they have sent me a message and saying that they're an employer that has a business in the state, and then of course I allow that. But there's also there are people that simply want to come into the group and advertise their business, that kind of thing, and I if I can identify it, I don't accept those requests.
Okay. All right. And you were talking about the possibility of bringing some employers on board.
We need employers, and we're at 4,350 members now, and those are predominantly people looking for work. So we need more employers. It's a free service, and they can advertise their job openings, and we really want that in there.
Okay, that would certainly be a positive addition to things, wouldn't there?
Yes.
I just want to mention, having spent some time on the site, I noticed that there's a real wide variety of people with different kinds of talents. So I've seen medical people, nursing, people who love working outdoors in construction or with their hands or with electronics or different things. So I really encourage employers who are listening to consider posting there, because I think this whole word of mouth concept is going to work for you just as well as it works for
We have high school age people. We have people that have been in the job force for many, many years that have been laid off. There's all skill sets looking for employment.
Yeah, we sure have seen them ourselves, haven't we?
Well, one of the things I thought we would talk about is some of the different conversations that have popped up on this site recently, because I think it really is helpful to have a chance to see what people are talking about, and also maybe there's some hints or comments that we ourselves could make as coaches, because Renee and I are career coaches and job search strategists, and I am a resume writer. So there are some tips that we might be able to offer. Yesterday, as I was looking over some of the most popular threads, one was from a guy named Jeremy, and Jeremy posted, why does it seem impossible to find a job? I've been in the medical field for about 4 years and was let go almost a year ago. I have applied for 300 job openings, have had 3 interviews and no callbacks. At this point, I would call it desperate to find work. Bills are behind, rent is behind, and 2 children to support. Any input is appreciated. And it was just awesome to see how many people jumped into that conversation to support Jeremy. But the first thing I noticed, and it was mentioned to him by one of the people who posted, is, Jeremy, if you have put in 300 applications and you've only gotten 3 interviews, here are some things for you to think about. First of all, a lot of people think that the only way they can apply for work is to apply online. And if that's what you're doing, you may be missing the boat for several reasons. One is that applying online requires a very special kind of resume, one that is designed to make it past the applicant tracking system. Some people call that the black hole.
Uh-huh.
And you need to know that your resume has to have in it the keywords. It has to attract not only the computer to not filter you out, but also the human being that's going to look at it when you actually do make that first cut for a personal human review. So you might really benefit from having someone who knows what they're doing take a look at your resume. And the second thing is, simply doing that is not a very fruitful way to look for work, is it, Rini?
No, and we've seen a lot of that, where if people are exclusively looking online for work and applying in that fashion, that the return on investment there is usually only about 4%. So that means that out of 4 tries, you might get, out of 100 tries, you might just get 4 people who might be mildly interested at best.
Right.
So that's why this site is so important, is because it's word of mouth is really more about networking.
It is. And people sometimes get a little freaked out by the mention of the word networking. Not everybody, some people love that, but there are other people who feel very fearful when it comes to talking to other people about what they need.
Well, don't you find that some of the angst that goes along with that is because people, for the most part, have been taught that networking is a very formal event. They have to go with business attire, business cards, everything's, very buttoned up and very controlled, where this is really more about just an exchange of good information.
Yes, which is exactly what's going on your site, Michelle. It is a form of networking, and I think that you were just brilliant to come up with that idea. I wish it had been mine. But that is a form of networking, and the trick is for people to take it to the next step, which is offline, to actually meet people
Yes.
who can help them without appearing needy. And that's really one of the tricks that Rini and I have been teaching to our clients and in the classes that we've prepared, is how to network without being desperate or needy. And when you read Jeremy's post, you really feel how desperate
Oh boy.
he is. And you know what? Rini, you and I have both been unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know that feeling. And the trick is, to be able to convey to people that you have something to offer. So getting out there out of what you have and putting out what you have to offer instead of putting out your neediness, which is that's a big challenge.
It's a very big challenge, because I remember thinking, when you've been doing something for so long, it's almost as though you can't see the forest through the trees. And, there's transferable skills and talents that are readily available if one has the capability of looking beyond a title or the kinds of jobs that they had just come from. And I think that's part of what this site does also, is it brings forth some wonderful ideas about those possibilities, about one's ability to dream beyond what they just came out of, as it relates to talent that they already have and exist. Do you find that?
I do. And what I guess what I would say about that is, and I have said this in the group, if you've come out of a job and that's fine if you're familiar with that and you're comfortable and you want to continue to look for that. But if you're unemployed right now, think about, what is it that you love? You know, what skills could you acquire while you're unemployed that maybe you could find through one of a service or through the college, and reinvent yourself, you know? Somebody said something this morning about where are the work at home jobs. You don't necessarily have to work for a company to do that. I mean, when I was unemployed at one point, I thought about, okay, what is it that I can do? Well, I have done administrative work before, and I've written resumes, and so I kind of created my own little at-home business in the meantime and wrote resumes for people and did administrative work on the side until I found something else. Take the opportunity to recreate yourself, find it, what are you good at, what do you love, and try to make that into a job if possible. Otherwise, revamp your skill set, and bring something new to the table, think outside of what you know.
And, I think it's important that you raise the issue about look for resources, and Join, for example, is a resource. There are lots of community resources in addition to the colleges where you can get help to get your different skills or upgrade your skills. And quite honestly, that's not anything I knew about before I started in this industry. So
I had no idea.
So yeah, people, there's financial help for that. In fact, free help for many things where you might not have to pay loans back. We're going to give Chip a few minutes. He has a couple things he wants to add.
Well, I do want to remind listeners that they can call in and ask questions of Michelle Cat Walker, and also let us know about jobs that are available there in the market if you're an employer. Please call 775-827-8900. And I'm pleased to tell you this show is heard nationwide. So if you'd like to call in about jobs available in your area, call 855-790-8255. You can also email us at talk@americamatters.us or text us a message at 775-557-5120. And on behalf of America Matters Media, we're really pleased to say good things about our sponsors of this particular show. Rini and Lynette, you do a great job. The Applied Companies have stepped up to be a sponsor, and the Applied Companies were HR solutions for today's workplace, where helping your company grow is their passion. theappliedcompanies.com, and also Country Financial, which is a potential great employer to pay attention to, where they can help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from. And it's also where you can start a career for yourself, but not by yourself. We'll be back.
The new music revolution at 101.3 Renegade Radio. Renegade Radio. Now playing in radios everywhere.
Your family's concerns are of the utmost importance to you. After all, what's more important than the well-being of those you love? It's the same when it comes to your home mortgage or refinancing needs. Having the proper mortgage in place is one of the most important steps your family can take. Why trust those crucial decisions to chance? The time to choose the right mortgage consultant is before you need one. As one of Reno's leading mortgage consultants, helping families like yours isn't just their job, it's their commitment. Your home is one of the most important investments you'll ever make. The last thing you need is a loan that will just do. You need a loan that will work for you today as well as protect you tomorrow. Friendly and experienced loan officers Carrie Johnson and Royal Kukoff are standing by to take your calls. Movement Mortgage is conveniently located at 985 Damani Ranch Parkway, number 130 in South Reno, 775-562-1026. Tell them you heard this ad and receive a free credit report. 775-562-1026. License number 3401.
Do you need to interview applicants away from your office, but not in a restaurant or hotel room? Would you like the freedom of having a mailbox with a real address and suite number? Do you need a real person to answer your phones, not just an answering service? How about a conference room or an office for a few hours, a day, or by the month? You need the Executive Center of Reno with private offices, an executive conference room, mailboxes, and an executive assistant on site Monday through Friday. Perfect for the insurance agents, financial advisors, marketing professionals, small business owners, and home businesses making the move to the next level. Come see for yourself at 1105 Terminal Way, Suite 202. A convenient location near the airport with Wi-Fi available. Call Lenore today. 775-786-5528. Call now, 775-786-5528, or visit us at theexecutivecenterreno.com. That's theexecutivecenterreno.com.
Come check out one of the Truckee Meadows' best kept secrets, the Reno Town Mall.
Located across the street from the Atlantis Casino Resort.
The Reno Town Mall is just steps from the Reno Sparks Convention Center and is home to a variety of merchants, including a full-service grocery store, Food Source.
Other tenants at the Reno Town Mall include the Washoe County Library,
Burlington Coat Factory,
Marcel's Bridal,
A Proper Fit Footwear,
and Access to Healthcare Network.
This unique urban mall will fit in perfectly with your busy lifestyle.
Stop at the Aroma Club Cafe for your morning coffee or perhaps a quick business lunch at Round Table Pizza.
The Reno Town Mall is also home to the Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Authority,
Northern Nevada Job Connect,
the Great Works of China Import Store,
and America Matters Media. Come join the audience as we record live radio shows. Stop by the Reno Town Mall today for the best Reno has to offer.